Okay, this is going to be part two of the story, and please bear with me during this part because it has so many different angles, so many twists and turns. It's ridiculous. So, where I left off was I had gone to the records department and picked up the accident report. And remember, they were having issues finding the accident report because me nor my fiance was listed in it. So I have the actual report and I'm sitting down and I'm looking at it. And the man who crashed into us and caused this whole accident, Rosendo Loomis, this man right here, his information is listed first. So I'm going through it and I get to the bottom of his section and I realize he did not have car insurance. And that was a major gut punch because my car is totaled. Me and my fiance were injured. We had missed work and now we have no compensation coming. And remember, the officer at the scene said, yes, he definitely has insurance, so don't worry about that. So that was like a major blow. The next section is what should be our information. And let me tell you, when I got to that section, my mouth literally dropped. Mind you, it was only me and my fiance in the car, just the two of us. No one else was in the vehicle. I was the driver, he was the passenger. Phoenix police instead put that my almost 80-year-old mother, who doesn't even drive anymore, was the driver, sole occupant. There was no injuries, and they put that no airbags deployed. They have all of her information, her date of birth, address, phone number, driver's license number, email, everything. So instead of just putting our information that we gave you at the scene, you chose to look up my mother's information and put it in. She was literally at home asleep at the time of the accident. So it's not like you could have mixed up our information at the scene. It was only two people in the car. And you've totally excluded both of us from this report. Now, it took 11 days to get the report. My fiance only wanted 2 days off of work just to try and quickly recover from his injuries and get back to work because y'all know that this economy is bad right now. So we can't afford to miss work like that. And now he's not even listed in the accident report. I was supposed to start a job that the previous Monday, the Monday after the accident. They're waiting so I can show them the accident report just to make sure that the accident wasn't my fault. I'm not even listed anywhere. I mean, absolutely nowhere. None of our names, information, anything is listed. So it just was gut punch after gut punch. First, the guy has no insurance. Now, neither one of us is listed in the accident report. So I call my fiance. He's just at a loss for words. We don't know what to do here because this was not what we were expecting under any circumstances. Now, I'm going to run back to a few days after the accident. My mom had started getting calls from the victims' rights are, I forgot the exact terminology, but when you want to press charges on someone, they call you to get your information and to get you to do statements, stuff like that. My mom thought it was a scam. She's almost 80. She's in the early stages of Alzheimer's. She didn't know what was going on. So she had my son help her block the number because, like I said, she thought it was a scam. She didn't know what was going on. And she had been getting mail from them, and we have the informed delivery feature, but it's on my phone, my tablet. I'm injured, recovering. I'm not checking the mail like that. We had no idea that she had been getting mail, because that would have been a little sign, that something was off. So once I get the accident report, I realized that's why she was getting the calls. That's why the mail was coming for her, because Phoenix Police Department put her down instead of me. So I call the woman from the victim's rights. I explained to her what happened. She's super confused. It's it's just it's ridiculous that they would do this. So she takes all of my information. I give her my correct phone number, my correct address, everything like that. And she tells me that she will send out some paperwork that I need to fill out in the next few days. I tell her, okay. She calls me back the following day just to confirm a few things and get a little more information. Now, remember that part. She called me the next day after I gave her all of my information. Okay. So I'm waiting around to hear from her. She had told me that I needed to contact the officer and get him to do an amended report. So that's what I'm trying to do in the meantime while I'm waiting to get this paperwork mailed to me from her. So I call the officer because he had left a phone number in his email. Call that number, no answer. I email him, hey, I'm not sure what's going on, but this is a pretty big mess up here, no response. I call Maryvale Precinct, no response. This goes on for almost a month. And a prosecutor for the state ends up calling my mother. And we're confused because why are you calling her when I gave the woman all of my correct information? And she wanted to talk to my mom about the accident. My mom told her I was not involved in this in any way, shape, or form. This was my daughter. So I get on the phone with her. I explain to her the whole situation. She's confused. She told me I needed to reach out to the officer and get him to do an amended report. And I told her that I already had been trying to. I explained to her that I had called multiple times. I emailed. I sent her screenshots of everything, all of my communications trying to reach out to him. She's extremely pissed off because this is taking so long. They don't have the right information in their system. It's just a mess, basically. So she had asked me about the the paperwork that I was supposed to be getting. And I told her I hadn't received anything. So she told me I needed to call like my victim's right, advocate, the one who was assigned to me. And she said that she was going to reach out to the officer and get him to contact me. So we get off the phone with her. I call my victim's advocate lady, and she said that she had been trying to call me and that she had already sent out paperwork. I haven't missed a single call from this lady. I haven't received any paperwork whatsoever. And I asked her, I said, well, what address did you send it to? Let me tell you, the address she read back to me was literally my family's old home address. And we hadn't lived there for over 7 years. And I'm like, what? Where did you even get that address from? And I asked her, I said, well, what phone number have you been trying to call? And it was literally my family's old landline phone number from the same house, but we hadn't had that phone number in over 20 years. So now I'm completely shook, confused, irritated, all of the above. I said, where did you get that information from? She said, an officer came in and gave it to me and told me to put this as your updated information. What the hell are you talking about? I asked her what was the officer's name. She didn't get the officer's name because it was a police officer. So she didn't think to question it. She took the information, put it in the computer. That's the number she had been calling, trying to contact me. That's the address she sent the paperwork to for me to fill out my impact statement, like how the crash impacted me and just the things that the losses that I occurred because of the accident. So that way they were going to make him pay restitution. So that way I could get some kind of compensation. I never got that paperwork because an officer went in and gave her bogus information and told her it was my current information. So she lets me know that the court date had passed anyways for me to turn in that information, like the time frame. He had another court date and that passed. So now she's trying to figure out what to do. And so she took my correct information again. She said, I'll give you a call in a few days. I'm going to try to figure out what's going on here. I said, okay. A few days go by. She calls. She lets me know that he had another court date he never showed up to, and he now has a warrant out for his arrest. So Phoenix Police has already screwed me multiple times. Once by not even putting our information in the accident report. Another time by going to my victim's advocate lady and giving her false information. And I'm about to get into how they screwed me for another third time. Now, on the accident report, they have no injuries marked. There's a whole fire truck and ambulance there with paramedics working on me at the scene. But you put there's no injuries. Not only was I injured, but my fiance was injured. My injuries were more visible. His were internal, neck and back injuries. Both of us were injured, mind you. They marked no injuries. Because they marked no injuries, this man didn't get charged with felony hit and run. It pissed me off so bad that we just didn't matter at all to these officers. Didn't matter at all. And when I was talking to my victim's advocate, she let me know that everybody else's information was accurate in the report. Everyone else's, the man who caused the accident, the people from the second car that he hit, all of their information was accurate. It was only me and my fiance's The only two black people involved were totally excluded, and details from the accident report were just lies. So now this man, who was high at the time of the accident, he's crashed into us. He's left the scene. He was caught. In the accident report, or no, that was in the incident report. They said he was arrested. We found out later that he wasn't arrested. So he's just loose. And I will get to the details of the incident report in another video. But if you see him anywhere on the streets, please give him a few car lengths space between you, because he's riding around more than likely high, no insurance, and he likes to hit and run. Mind you, he had just caused another accident 7 days prior to crashing into us. I had to do my own internet sleuth snooping to find that out. So Phoenix police just let this man go without the proper charges for whatever reasons. Apparently there is it has to be race related, because like I said, me and my fiance are the only two black people. We're the only two people that y'all screwed over. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of how they continue to screw us over. So I just don't know. It can't be anything else but race, especially since everyone else's information was accurate. Now, the accident happens in November. Now we have lost our jobs. Well, my fiance lost his. I was not able to start mine because we had no proof. His supervisor's thinking he just took time off to party, hang out, go out of town, something like this. Because when you tell people you've been in an accident and you don't have any proof, they're looking at you sideways, because it's like, why would the police lie like that? It's still to this day hard for people to understand. It's hard for us to comprehend why they did this. We were literally the only two people in the car. We gave the officer all of our correct information at the scene. We were both injured. You marked no injuries. You put my 80-year-old mother down as the driver and sole occupant. Even the detail that no airbags deployed on our car was a lie, because the airbag is what messed up my eye. I just don't know why they decided to screw us like that. But they royally screwed us. We had gotten attorneys. They were trying to see if the man who crashed into us had insurance on another vehicle, so that way they could try and get us some kind of compensation from that. And so they're doing all of this investigating, and they come back, hey, you guys weren't even in this accident. You're not listed anywhere in it. Oh, no, we're getting an amended report. Don't worry, we're getting an amended report. So that way it proves that we were in the accident. I finally end up talking to the officer, and I ask him, how did this happen? And he proceeds to tell me he does not know. My mother's information was the information he was given and told to put in the report. Who? Who gave it to you? Who told you to put it in there? Because we gave the officer all of our correct information. And he proceeds to say, I don't believe he had any information for you. Lies. Because as he was copying down the information from my driver's license, he proceeded to ask me for my phone number and my email address. He emailed me a copy or not a copy, he emailed me the accident report number. My email address was on the same page as my personal information. So he 100% had information for me. Who told you to put my mother's information in there instead? Just confused. So I give him all of my information. I give him all of my fiance's information. I let him know that we've now, lost our jobs because of this. And he says he's going to go in. He apologizes. I'm going to make corrections. Now, mind you, this is officer I don't even know. He was not at the scene. I don't know where he came from, who told him to do this report. I don't know anything because that is not the officer who I gave my information to at all. But he says he's going to go in and fix it. Now, it's already been a month since the accident that I finally get to talk to him about the amended report. So it takes almost another month to get that amended report. And when I get the report, it's just more confusing. He put that I was the driver, which I was happy about. He put that there was injuries, that the airbags did deploy. So I'm happy, yes, I'm finally mentioned in this report. And it gets down to my fiance, where he should be listed in the passengers. He's not listed in the passengers at all. So I'm going through the report, trying to figure out what's going on here. I'm already got my phone ready to call this officer back. They have him listed as a witness to the accident, not as a passenger. What the hell? As a witness. So he still is being swept under the rug. Why? Why are you guys doing this to us? Why? We were literally the victims. Why are you doing all you can to try and just make us disappear or to discredit us in any way, shape, or form? It's just sneaky and deceitful tactics that Phoenix PD uses. They find ways to low key be racist, because that's all it is. Like I said, the only two black people involved, you just exclude and continue to screw over throughout this whole process. It's just, like I said, it's the endless rabbit hole. And there's so much more to this story that I will get into. And I will do a part 3 coming up soon. But yes, that's what had happened up until this point. It it's just, it's wild. It's wild. So if you have any questions, leave me a comment. I will definitely answer anything. And part 3 will be coming up soon.